at the PropTech house. Come on, Ann, come on. I'm gonna get you over here. Just speak for 2 seconds. She's amazing. Have you guys ever been to Salvation Pizza before? You have?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, tell everybody about Salvation.
Hi, y'all. I'm actually new to Texas, so I'm new with Salvation, but we have been going through a rebranding from just pizza to your neighborhood sports bar. So this is a great event for us to collaborate with y'all. We have 3 locations, so we have one here on Rain Street, we have one up in the Domain, and then we also have a partner in the airport. So you can find us at all 3 of those locations.
Perfect. And if you guys come back later tonight, we will be doing a Shania Twain duo.
Maybe.
Maybe. But thank you so much to Salvation Pizza. Just amazing. As we kick off, as you guys know, this has been the anchor event for the PropTech House. People really love it. And the reason that they love it is they love to learn what's happening in technology, and especially as it impacts real estate. So we get to hear from PropTech founders who are reimagining what technology in real estate looks like. So you'll hear some innovative companies, innovative strategies, innovative approach to really how you are going to interact and intersect with real estate. I'm super excited to welcome David Howe to the stage here. And our pitch off is entirely produced by him, so we love to bring him to the stage so he can introduce everyone that is going to pitch today. Let's give David a round of applause.
Actually, I want to give a shout out to Liberty and this Jeremy. So I know Liberty before I moved to Texas, and Liberty had done an amazing job with this the PropTech house together. Let's give Liberty a big round of applause. These are second year working together, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Thank you so much, David. You're awesome. And again, I feel like everybody here is from California. And we know each other from California, and now we're wearing cowboy hats and boots. So.
That's wonderful. We move our collaboration to Texas.
Exactly. Thank you,
And
David.
I'm so glad to hear. So I started PropTech about 2.5 years ago, actually after I moved to Texas. So I'm a small fund by 50 Ventures. I'm also looking for like a commercial real estate, like manufacturers, construction technologies, PropTech technologies. That's the area I'm looking at. I lived in Silicon Valley for more than 20 years, and I moved to Texas 3 years ago. I live in northwest of Austin, a small ranch there, and we sometimes host very small investor receptions. Actually, I had an event just last Sunday, and more than 100 people attended. Anyway, so I try to understand who are the audience today. So if you are PropTech / construction founders, raise your hand. Okay, that's hard. If you consider not the founder but professionals in real estate, raise your hand. Okay, the percentage is lower than I thought. How about any other type of founder? Raise your hand. Okay, cool. So I just want to explain a little bit what we do. I run a largest entrepreneur community in Silicon Valley called Silicon Entrepreneurs. Yeah, Google search #1. So after the pandemic, we moved everything online. We have an online brand called Startup from the World, which is hosting the video, all the online content we ever created in our event. We intend to put this event live pitch into our YouTube channel, also after we did work on it. And we have like nearly 400 videos on our Startup from the World YouTube channel. If you Google search Startup from the World, you should find out our YouTube channel, our LinkedIn pages, as well as our blog pages. And YouTube is our primary channel to host our content. And we have lots of our past training videos and pitching videos on YouTube as well. So you're welcome to take a look. Again, so Startup Founder World on YouTube channel. And today's pitch will be on YouTube as well. So let me explain the pitching process. Each startup, we have selected 7 companies to pitch today, but actually I realize that more companies want to pitch. So each startup has 5 minutes pitching, maximum 3 minutes for question answer. So your total minutes, no more than 8 minutes. Our timer some liberty, and I believe she'll be very tough on time. Okay. Our backup timer is Anil. If neither one of them raise a hand, you must stop. Let me explain why. 8 minutes is very long enough time to impress somebody. If you have spent 8 minutes still the audience are not impressed, you should improve your pitch instead of requesting more time. So that I'm asking all our presenters, try to finish everything within 8 minutes and respect our other presenters as well, our timers. That's number one. Number two is that we want to make it a little bit interactive. If you have any question, don't interrupt the presentation. After the presentation, you always welcome to do a question and keep the question short and sweet. And the same thing for the answer, also keep the answer short and sweet as well. So we have 7 official pitches. And I know understands co-founders who like to pitch. After the 7 presentation, we call the open mic, means everyone else come here. But you don't have 8 minutes, okay? You have like 90 seconds, 2 minutes max to do an elevator pitch. There to introduce yourself, whatever you're looking, maybe a construction, technology company looking for co-founders or something, just use that one as an example. So will be fun. And so Liberty and Jeremy have put lots of effort to put this event together. I would like to ask you to be really supportive to the presenters as well. So whenever somebody, a presenter, pronounce your name, can ask off to give them a founder, a little encourage, I give them a big round of applause. Can you do it? Thank you so much. Our first presenter will be a lady. I really want you guys to give our only lady presenter today a big round of applause when she announced her name. You remember? Pretty good, all the ladies. Remember that, okay? Okay, so 5 minutes plus 3 minutes. And after the presentation, we're going to probably take us a few days to get a video online on YouTube. And I appreciate all your help to promote our videos or content on LinkedIn as well as YouTube. That's one thing. We can help to give more branding to our founders who are in this PropTech space. I forgot to ask one more question. How many of you consider your big corporate / investors in PropTech construction? Raise your hand. Well, looks like we have worked harder on the online after we had the YouTube or videos online. Okay, so our next person can be ready, stand right here. So remember what I asked you to do? Yes, exactly. So again, I want to introduce our first presenter and the only woman founder today. Let's give a big, big round of applause to Melissa.
Hello, I'm Melissa, founder, CEO of Formis Technology. How many homeowners do we have in here? All right, how many of you have embarked on a home renovation project? Okay, and then it goes expected, within your budget, within your timeline, just as you expected? No, I got you. This is my home, this is my journey, and this is why I'm here. Formis provides design-build professionals a tool to better manage consumer relationships, streamlining time-consuming tasks through a homeowner-centric platform.
Tech support. Tech support.
Here you go. I got this. Oh wait, it's not me. What? I don't know what happened. Okay, here we go. Well, we are going to skip this slide because obviously it's the most important slide, but it's okay.
What's happening?
It's not playing the slide. It's not playing the slides. Yeah, it's okay. We're going to skip that slide. All right, so the slide before was the demo of our product with 4 Formis homeowners are provided with an immersive and real-time experience, educating them on how their design decisions impact project scope, budget, and timeline. A homeowner space is scanned and digitally rendered to create an immersive experience where all renovation partners can collaborate. Real-time visuals provide features that static blueprints do not. The opportunity for spatial experience and a comprehensive understanding of project scope. For homeowners, these advantages are often lacking in the initial phases of the renovation process. Formis aims to solve market pains that disrupt renovations, providing the opportunity for innovation, collaboration within a design space in the early stages of a renovation. All right, I'm kind of scared to touch this, but okay. In 2021, Formis was awarded a grant from the National Science Foundation to research the barriers of the home renovation market. Americans invest heavily in their homes. In 2022, $567 billion was spent on residential renovations. 80% of homeowners have taken on a home renovation project, with 9 out of 10 projects experiencing cost overruns by an average of 28%. Misaligned expectations and miscommunication between homeowners and industry professionals are significant market pains that result in mid-project changes and budgetary overruns. In 2018 alone, these disruptions cost American homeowners over $31 billion. With current industry practices, homeowners' ability to understand their design decisions occurs late in the renovation process. We know the monetary cost of changes increases drastically as we progress through the project. When immersive visuals and project data are provided at the beginning stages of the renovation, homeowners can better understand how their design decisions impact project scope, and changes can be made when costs are nominal. This is Formis, a platform answering market pains by guiding homeowners through their renovation plans and servicing market professionals by managing homeowners' engagements. The Formis ecosystem will address the fragmented market that currently exists, applying technology to streamline tasks. With virtual reality and AI, Formis will seamlessly integrate with current industry processes to provide an end-to-end platform that will address current market pains for all stakeholders: homeowners, designers, architects, contractors, and product creators. This will be the first platform catering to the homeowner needs in the renovation process, while solving barriers to success for the industry professionals. We have traction, we have networked and collaborated with homeowners and industry professionals who are eager to join us. Our initial revenue from trade professional licensing has the opportunity of an $8 billion total available market. Formis Technology will white label for trade professionals to integrate the Formis platform into their process, managing homeowner communication, education, and visualization, ultimately saving a considerable amount of time while streamlining business practices. As we build our user base, additional monetization through affiliate marketing and sponsored content advertising with a total available market of $1 trillion. Formis platform cross-marketing and product placement within planned visualizations will revolutionize how homeowners interact with brands, increasing sales through e-commerce integration. Our plan for onboarding users to platform monetization ensures that at every stage we are committed to user experience, answering market pains, and providing value to the home renovation process.
We got 60 seconds.
In such fragmented market, homeowners need an obvious first step to considering a renovation. Formis answers this market pain with the application of AI technology to collect relevant project data. This automated data collection saves trade professionals the time with the ability to bid projects more efficiently, manage homeowner communication, while automating the heavy lift of educating the homeowner on the project process. So currently, the tools out there that currently exist do not serve the homeowners. They are driven by the trade professional. So the Formis is the first platform that is designed for the homeowner to collaborate more efficiently with the trade professionals. And this is our roadmap. We are currently in alpha development and fundraising to accelerate that development to then go into the beta development. And this is my team. Thank you. Please join us with Formis to build form around us.
All right, thank you so much. Let's go to Q&A. Anybody have any questions for her? Oh, we have a question over here in the back.
So, if I understood the platform well, you mentioned an aspect for vendors, so like, building material suppliers, building systems. So how do you envision, working with the clients, in this case, the homeowners, with how they work with contractors and like specifying any specific building systems that, help with construction efficiency and so on? Like, do you have an agenda to help scale efficient construction practices in any way? Or, how do you, the question is, how do you vet the suppliers that leverage your marketplace for?
Are you her competitor? Because this sounds like corporate espionage.
So we are selling to the trade professionals, not homeowners. So our platform is designed for the homeowner or for the trade professionals to white label and use with their homeowners. So they control that side of what vendors, what contractors that they use.
So that's my question is, how much do you play a role in that? So how much do you help the contractors in finding certain products, or how do you,
Yeah, so where our sweet spot is that we're developing an AI engine that onboards homeowners. And so through this engine, we're able to collect that relevant data and educate them while we're collecting that data to better set them up for success with those trade professionals. So it's an onboarding process that goes beyond just general questions like, what is your project, what is your location, what is your budget, what is your timeline. We're able to really dig, using conversational AI, we're able to really dig into who that homeowner is and really understand their lifestyle. What are their true expectations? So we're bringing homeowners that are educated and well prepared to these trade professionals so that they can use that data throughout the rest of the process and streamline that process and make it more efficient.
Yeah, so some of these kind of platforms have different vendors bidding. Is this a situation where you're selling to the vendor and it's after they've already made that sale, or is there a bidding process or other kinds of ways of having different contractors compete in this platform?
So for vendors specifically, that is, right now we are, again, working with trade professionals that already have vendors that they work with. And they just pull their products into our platform, like interior designers have certain vendors that they work with, as well as the architects, the builders. Once we're in the market, about 5 years, we're looking to then set up an e-commerce portion of it, where we have a marketplace of 3D models that can then be pulled into these experiences. And so it really would be, really any vendor that would want to be part of this platform to have their products in 3D to be able to then, for homeowners to then be able to see their products along with other products. Right now, when you look into these vendors who are offering AR and 3D to homeowners, is their product in a kind of a templated space. Our customers will be able to look at those vendor products alongside other vendor products in real time. So what does this tile look like with this counter, with these floors, with these light fixtures?
Perfect. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Wait, Albert, did you have a question?
Well, it was a real quick question.
Real quick question. Here we go. You got me right for the mic.
Oh, so I'll quickly ask, I saw 300K angel investing. Did you already raise that, or are you looking to do it? Okay, so bootstrapping that, which are about to do that.
Yes, to accelerate our development, yes.
Okay, I'll just catch you up.
Okay, thank you.
Let's give everyone a applause for Malaysia. Just a couple of suggestions. Okay, so all the presenters are going to stand right here because of two cameras. This is the angle the cameras are looking at. Okay. Number two, we never ask questions. Please keep your question very short. Secondly, we never answer a question. Keep your answer very short. If you get an argument, do offline. Okay. So let's welcome our second presenter.
I'm going to try and load up my presentation real quick. And it was real quick indeed. All right, I'm Robbie, co-founder of Teralytic. And we're here to decarbonize the built environment. Quick interactive poll here. What percentage of global emissions come from the built environment? That's our commercial real estate, infrastructure, etc. Just shout out percentages.
34.
34 is shockingly close, so you're probably close to knowing the answer. It's 40%. And the good news here is that we at Teralytic are here to decarbonize 75% of that, which comes from the embodied carbon. Directly, that's built in our cement, our steel, all the materials that make up the structures that we stand in. And we're going to do a gigaton of that. For record, that's about 2% of global emissions by 2030. How the hell is this guy in this spa going to do that in a few years? Well, we are building the marketplace to allow manufacturers and developers to get access to the direct materials needed to decarbonize. We're not measuring, we're not capturing carbon after the fact. We are connecting the new innovative clean tech solutions with the developers and manufacturers directly to co-finance bringing these solutions to market. All right, that still sounds pretty complicated. Who are you to have any right to do that? Well, myself along with my team have been leading the decarbonization practice at McKinsey for about 20 years of experience prior to last year when we left to start founding Teralytic. I myself come from the real estate decarbonization background. I was working with some of the largest developers in the world, specifically focused more on the operational emission side because embodying the carbon directly built into all of our homes just felt like too big of a challenge to tackle. But we decided that we were some of the experts in the position. We've been working with some of the largest manufacturers, and we said we're going to do it. So what have we been learning since we started Teralytic? Supply chain decarbonization requires a transformation in how we think about emissions. First off, when we talk to manufacturers and developers, they say that it's really difficult to even know where to start. They've never thought about tracking the emissions from their purchased materials before, and they're not the experts in understanding the blast furnace that are used for steel, the smelters used for aluminum. So how the hell could they help decarbonize them? They don't know the solutions available for them either. And then, of course, most importantly, you'll hear every other climate startup talk about emissions and measurement and CO2, but ultimately this comes down to cost and making a business case and figuring out how to mobilize that with your supplier. So we've been going out and doing these interviews, and we've created Teralytic, the co-pilot for, the decarbonization co-pilot for industrial supply chains. What we were able to do is look into every facility in an upstream manufacturing footprint, understand the 10,000 facilities to figure out how we can just activate the supplier base to take action in like the 10 most priority places to start getting emission reductions. With our platform, you can first create a business plan. That's figuring out how you can co-finance a specific solution. And then you actually can implement it all the way on our platform through the point of execution. That means that you can help make sure that you're getting the feasibility assessments done at your actual site, all the way through the RFQs, providers, and the tendering. Still sounds complicated? 3 simple steps to make the platform work. What you can do at first is to create a quick roadmap. This is just configuring a specific material to where you procure it from in your supplier facility. You can then optimize your roadmap on our own AI engine that goes through a library of different business cases that you can take. And then you can actually just deploy them with your supplier. We connect directly to your supplier system, you log in, you figure out what you actually need to do, and then you start using that as the platform for negotiation. What? Okay. All right. So by the end of this year, we're going to get to 100 different materials. You can see a bunch of them on there. A bunch of metals, nickel, steel, iron. We already do about 55 of these, and we are rapidly expanding. We've got incredible momentum. We are a software platform first and foremost. 175K ARR is the most important one. And some big partners like Bain & Company who are helping us to their industrial clients and developers. I'm speeding up these, I think I'm almost out of time, but I don't actually know. South by Southwest pitch. We won the Smart Cities 1 minute pitch on Saturday, which was a pretty cool win. Thank you. And we have an example here, which I'm not going to go into for time, but I'm happy to talk about it after. So lastly, you heard me talk about the strategy and implementation part. As I said at the beginning, our eventual goal is to be a marketplace. Over the next year and a half, we're trying to just work on making sure our platform has the analytics and the implementation knowledge so our customers know how to decarbonize. And then around the next year, we're going to start onboarding different climate tech solutions. These are the innovative companies thinking about electrolyzers for hydrogen to have clean, renewable energy. These are other industrial heat pumps, like being able to take the fossil fuels out of the high temperature processes needed to build these materials. We're going to onboard them directly, help them build the business cases, and turn our platform into a marketplace. I didn't get the 1 minute warning, but I am done, so thank you very much. Questions?
It's good to be next to the mic. So have you heard of Cove.tools? Are you familiar with them?
Do you mind spelling it?
COVE.TOOL?
I have not.
Okay. Never mind that. Only I saw some
I'll
overlap.
be doing my competitor diligence after this.
Okay, yes. We can talk after, but.
No, I thank you. It's the carbon marketplace is a fast-growing and distributed one. So we oftentimes have 100 different players in my list of competitors. A few of them I flag, and I still hear new ones all the time.
So my question is, for the manufacturers, what exact? So you're helping somebody decarbonize their supply chain, but are you working with the manufacturers directly to do that, or?
Yes.
Or are you all suggesting alternative manufacturers that have better less carbon emissions?
So I'll give you an example. Let's say we're talking to Tishman, a large developer. They are our customer, and they purchase X amounts of steel and X amounts of concrete every single year. They have good relationships with their suppliers, and they do not want to switch from that supplier base because it's just going to be too complicated to change that much of a procurement spend. So what we do, especially because it's ultimately the OEMs, the developers who are on the consumer-facing end, who have already set targets, not the small no-name suppliers, we help them build the analytics on our platform to say, what is it actually going to cost for your suppliers to decarbonize? In the old world, they would go to their suppliers and say, hey, how many emissions do you have? Have you thought about this? And everybody kind of just shrugs and looks at each other. In our world, we go to the suppliers and say, hey, we actually have a potential business plan, and we'd be willing to actually either pay more or co-finance one of these solutions. Would you be interested in trying any of them out? And it's a way of basically overcoming the capability gap that exists all the way out the supply chain. And then, of course, once you have the plan, then that gets into the implementation marketplace. All the way in the back.
With the current customers that you have, what's become their incentive to say yes, right? You sort of come to them with a business plan, they say, well, we have these big customers already paying us a bunch of money, maybe, and they're not going to switch, why would we take on your business plan?
So to clarify, are you talking about our customers or our customer suppliers? This is the very tricky place about being in this business.
Yeah, I may not know enough to distinguish.
So,
in the example that you just gave, you sort of said you provide business plans to these manufacturers to sort of say hey, would you be interested in financing these things? Why would they say yes if they can keep their customer and not?
Yeah. So in the world of climate, there's this initiative called a Science-Based Target Initiative, SBTI. Every major company who's committed to it has said to their investors, have said to the public, that we are going to decarbonize X% of our emissions by 2030 and 2050. Usually is an industry goal. For all intents and purposes, these are binding. They're technically voluntary agreements, but like from what we actually see, the sustainability manager is hired. That's genuine spend coming off of the books of our customers, and their goal is to figure out how to mobilize. And then they can either option A, hire a shit ton of people or consultants to do analytics, which can cost millions in spend a year, or you can license our platform for $50,000 a year. So that's their incentive, and then it ends up actually creating a new process for how they would engage it. Where if you were to hire somebody, they would also just be like staring at their suppliers and doing that same old shrug that everybody's been doing for about the past 5 years since this became an issue.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. You have done a fantastic job. Thank you.
I don't know who else is coming on it.
I don't have any slides.
I don't want to distract with my unnecessary complex page.
Very McKinsey.
I wish it was gone, but it's still alive to today.
Nope, this guy is my name is Patrick, and I am co-founder and COO of a company called Keepers. So we're Keepers. Keepers was founded in 2022, end of 2022. We went live in Anchorage, Alaska, of all places, in April of 2023. And what we do is we clean short-term rentals. How many people here are from out of town? Okay, there's 5 people who don't live in Austin. It's just needed something to do. Cool. How many of you have been recently stayed in an Airbnb or a VRBO? Everybody. Okay, pretty much everybody. How many of you own or operate an Airbnb or VRBO? 1, 2, okay, 3. But you're familiar with the concept, right? Okay. So anybody who has owned or operated a Airbnb, VRBO, or any other short-term rental will probably recognize that the biggest challenge facing that business is turning the property over in between guests. My co-founder, she found after 8 years of owning an Airbnb 2 states away, that she had tried to use every single resource to get her property prepped and ready for the next guest, and could not execute on that mission no matter how hard she tried. She put it in the hands of a property manager. She used the existing software solutions, and yet there were complaints about the cleanliness of the property every time. To set the scale of the problem, there are 1.6 million short-term rental properties, full-time short-term rental properties in the United States of America. Last year, they did $64 billion in revenue. 13 billion of that, or 13% of that, 8.1 billion, was cleaning fees. So, the problem's pretty big, and there's no solution to getting properties cleaned and ready for the next guest that anybody is happy with. After figuring this out on her own, she called, I think it was 200 operators and property managers and asked them how they were doing it. Most of them were using a company, one of 3 companies that provide software, and making individual agreements with cleaners, cleaning companies, etc. But what happens when you've got a cleaner coming tomorrow and your guest decides, I want to stay a day later, or decides, I'm going to stay a couple of hours later, and now the window of turnover time is compressed, and your cleaner at the same time calls up and says she's got COVID, or her daughter's in the hospital and she can't make it today. What are your options? You can jump back on Craigslist or on Handy or on one of these software as a service-based marketplaces and try to find a bunch of new cleaners. Or you couldn't put it yourself in our hands and we could have handled it all for you. And so enter keepers. Basically, we use the gate workforce, a managed marketplace, and a machine learning powered photo recognition system to build an extremely efficient solution for this problem. As I said, we launched in Anchorage about 8 months ago. Since launching there, we've cleaned more than 2,400. We've done more than 2,400 cleanings. We've brought in more than 150K in net revenue off of 350, I believe, off the top of my head as of today, gross transaction value. Basically, we charge 35% to take care of all cleaning for you for the rest of your existence. You onboard with us. We take a bunch of photos of your property, then we link to the back end of your property management software, whether that is Airbnb, VRBO, or any of the SaaS products that allow you to cross-list it on both of them and improve your revenue. We handle all of the back end.
Thank you so much for handling all of the back end. It's over. It's over.
Man, that was fast. I didn't even hear a warning.
Well, I am the warning. Can you hear me?
Warning, I hear you. Okay, what questions do you have?
So we're going to go into Q&A. I've got some questions in the back. There we go.
Give us 30 seconds of what you wanted to say but didn't have a chance to.
That's fine. I got my I got the problem, I got the solution, and I got the traction, which were probably the biggest parts.
What's your plans for expansion?
We'll be launching here within the next 2 months. And then from there, we'll raise our seed, and then we'll go nationwide. We'll add maintenance, and then eventually go across the globe, and then eventually we will transition from short-term rentals to multiple other real estate assets.
Does this help streamline the cleaning fees for the listings in some way?
It does. If you think about the challenge for cleaning fees, most of the headlines that you saw in the news last year about cleaning fees were about people complaining about paying cleaning fees. The reason people complain is because they're asked to pay cleaning fees, and then in addition, they're asked to clean up after themselves. Reason being that a lot of property managers can't figure out a way to get their property cleaned. So they're basically paying themselves for the time that they spend cleaning up, but then also trying to manage the place. If you list with us, you can actually list it on your property. The people can just walk out of your property and treat it like a hotel. So if you can make the next step, there's a lot of network properties that associated with that. Next question.
Why is your company better at doing cleaning than another property management company?
We're not a property management company, to be clear. We are just cleaning. All we do right now is focus on cleaning. And essentially, what we do in the onboarding process is walk through your property, and we take a ton of photos. We break down every room into a series of tasks that have a photograph next to it. That photograph then becomes part of the model for what a clean home looks like. And as you, the cleaner, walk through, you're guided by an app that instructs you on every task that you must complete. You must upload a photo that the machine learning algorithm recognizes that you have performed. If it does not recognize that you have done it, you do not get paid. So that is how I ensure quality control. The reason that we're more likely to show up is just because as gig workers, you know, it's a supply and demand curve, right? It's basically like these people are going to be available. We have your back end, we have your checkout calendar, so we know when the checkouts are going to happen, and then as things change, we can adapt on the fly, and we have a whole host of available cleaners in your market who can address your needs.
So it's 35% for the cleaning, and then I still have to afford a property manager to manage bookings, pricing.
So the cleaning fee basically is a cleaning fee that you would have to pay regardless.
35% of the cleaning fee, not.
It's 35% of the cleaning fee, that's it. So basically we have an algorithm that sets the cleaning fee based on the number of rooms, square footage, what rooms those are. No, you're actually saving money with us because there aren't any additional fees. We're transaction based only. We just take 35% of that fee, which you then pass on to your guests. So it is basically a pass-through situation, so you don't have to worry about it. You basically just forget about cleaning as an issue.
I used to be in the Airbnb game. I had a couple dozen houses here in San Antonio, and I did take advantage of the cleaning fees. It was a way to price it a little bit lower, but make it up on.
Would you rather that, or would you rather have more platform?
Thank you so much. It's fantastic. I'll let you guys take that offline. We appreciate you for pitching and moving on.
Well, I was gonna say, would you rather have that, or would you rather have more properties on your platform?
I think it's just turn the button.
Time where you can expand.
Yeah.
In fact, it's like a vastly.
There's power on the extension cord. Right where your finger is.
Here's like all the power buttons.
Power on the TV remote.
Can you tell him how you turned it off?
Oh, there's a button on the
Search detector.
the surge detector.
Okay, so I did that one, but it hasn't.
Now you gotta find the problem there.
Hey, can somebody come log in, please?
Let me get James.
And this is what, so we should turn it off.
Well, usually that's a Phillips and that's a Tyson.
Oh, there you go. That makes sense.
Here he comes. There he is. Chief IT
Take it
officer.
on and then get your backlog. That's not
Single story office space that's like this huge one. There's still
Need your log in again.
offshore everything, and they just still have these huge empty call centers. Well, I've got these Samsung suppliers that are coming in, and they're like, we don't have any more and what they do is just go through and they just all the stuff. And they're like, well, see rooms like this roof might go up, see what's hard like this roof might go up another 1,000 here or 50. And it's just open space. That's where like the workers are walking around up there and replace the and so my guy gets to come in there and knock out the ceiling. And so now for like 20 feet you can have a forklift in there. So now what I look for is single floor schools that are vacant and we black out all the windows so you can see on the inside. And then they knock out the inside and put a window. You can see they use a lot of
All right, thank you, everybody. Everybody's ready, we'll go get started. My name is David, and I'm a co-founder of Landsat Technologies. How's it going? So we built these solar-powered security robots. And so our story kind of began outside of SpaceX. We wanted to live stream the world's most powerful rocket, Starship, and Super Heavy launching. And so initially we kind of looked at industry. We looked at, was there a system that we could plop out there and rent that would be affordable? But unfortunately, you know, the best option we could find was something like $3,000 a month. So we decided, being engineers, let's just go ahead and build something ourselves. So we created the Landsat logo, which is this system right here. Basically, most traditional systems that are security towers will be actually on a trailer. But then, of course, you have the high cost of actually getting a license plate for the trailer, and there's a lot of steel involved in manufacturing that. So we start with a clean sheet design, and we created a system that instead of needing a vehicle to tow, a single person could actually maneuver around. And on top of it is a mast that goes 15 feet high, and we have a camera and sensor array. So we actually have 5 different cameras on the system. They're actually looking in 360 degrees at all times. And then we have an optical super zoom turret that can actually look around and zoom in. And it has AI auto tracking to follow somebody walking. We also have an array up top of solar powered floodlights, so that if anyone walks by at a certain time, the lights will come on and illuminate this surrounding area. So what most of our competitors rent sort of systems comparable to these at like $3,000 a month. We start our pricing at $799, so it's a radical reduction in cost. And we have pilots going on in multiple places. So we're about to start one with the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport to actually watch for foreign debris on the runways. We have several pilots going on with a group called Harbor Capital, where we actually help guard multi-million-dollar commercial properties where they have had issues with copper theft and break-ins and that sort of thing. And we also have an active pilot going on with the Dallas County Marshals, where there are a law enforcement agency in Dallas, and they had a vehicle bin that was a fenced-in area with many government vehicles, and they actually had people brazen enough to jump the fences and steal catalytic converters from the government vehicles. So we came in as a nice turnkey solution to help basically guard those facilities. The other side of the business is military. So we're working with the Security Forces Center at the Air Force. So over at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, which is where I'm from, the Security Forces Center is the entity responsible for training and equipping all security forces at all bases around the world. And so they've given us a very strong letter of support, basically saying that this type of technology that's actually making these types of platforms affordable is a really key part of the security strategy that can help defend these bases as more and more threats occur. You have thousands and thousands of miles of fences that you can't watch everywhere. And security forces will go out on ATV patrols. But these types of technologies are force multipliers for them. In that law enforcement pilot, we've learned a lot. In fact, we've actually put, with feedback from Chief Mossery, these guys are used to driving around in police cars with sirens extremely loud. So he said, hey, your siren wasn't loud enough. So within a day, we actually sourced a police siren from an actual police car, put it in place, and attached a light array also to the police cars. So we built a lot of automation into the system. So we connect to the internet using LTE and 5G networks. And we can connect all these sort of discrete systems that normally don't talk to each other all together through a software layer. So for example, a motion event on one of the cameras in the array can actually trigger the police lights and police siren at certain times specified by the users. And so it's really been an exciting start for us. We've only been running this business about 3 months, but we've had a lot of traction, and we've acquired a lot of our customers through commercial real estate events like this, just talking and networking with construction companies, property managers, and even real estate agents. We put together a commission program where we actually pay people $500 for new introduction to results in business. So that's proven to be a great strategy to help kind of expand our sort of sales network, even as we're just getting started. It's a real neat form factor. I'll kind of scroll down here just a little bit here. So you can see there's a giant solar array, and inside of the main unit is actually a lithium iron phosphate battery, so we can operate even in very cold conditions. Here's one of our systems from the law enforcement pilot, and I'll play this video here, see if this will run.
We've got 5 seconds.
So you can see here, this is that vehicle bin that we've had break-ins before, and as soon as she goes out there, triggers this piercingly loud siren.
We're going to the Q&A right now.
So yeah, let's jump to the Q&A.
You can hear me or not, but we're going to go into the Q&A. Anybody got any questions? We've got a couple hands coming up, and you're right next to the mic.
How long did it take you guys to put together the MVP?
Yeah, so we originally did start with the idea of founding the company. We just wanted to do that mission of going out there and live streaming from the SpaceX launch pad. So we have about 1.5 years of experience of development in building these systems. And that environment down there is a salt spray environment with extreme temperatures, being blasted by rocket exhaust. So it really was a great way for us to see iterate many times. So the systems you see here are literally 11 or 12 iterations in. We've seen parts that were rust and we've replaced those.
So is this totally automated, or are you guys doing like remote video monitoring where you're having an operator who's triggering these rockets?
Yeah, so the idea is it's a complete autonomous system. It's a land satellite. So you still throw a satellite in space, nobody can go up there and service it. So that's the idea, is to be very automated. We do offer for some clients a 24/7 live monitoring service where we have humans watching it at all times. And one key differentiator from our competitors as well is that we can actually stream from all 5 cameras simultaneously without breaking for a second. Whereas most of those other systems, they have a very limited data plan. So they'll only actually stream when there's motion. But they're unable to sort of do that without paying these massive overage rates. So we negotiate a very aggressive contract with carriers to allow us to do that. And so we're actually the best system out there of any system, and we're several times more affordable than other systems. Any other questions?
So you sell the system, and then you monetize the ongoing monitoring?
Yeah, so we actually just have it as a service because a lot of businesses are cash constrained. So we basically will rent it starting at $7.99 a month, and then live monitoring is an additional fee if customers want that. And then for certain government customers, they'd rather just buy it. So other competitor systems will be kind of 60,000 and up. We basically are under 10,000. So it's just a radical reduction in cost so that you can cover more areas.
Sorry, what are your terms? How long are those?
Yeah, so that $7.99 is with a 1-year term, but we also offer month to month. So it just depends on the length of the term. Yes?
How does the autonomy work in terms of like, if you're guarding a commercial real estate property, say parking lot, I actually own one, so this is a problem I do have. I pay real live security. The question is, like, how does that autonomy work? Like, can it navigate that? What are the challenges?
Yeah, great question. So basically, when we start with a new property, we talk to the property manager or the owner, and we ask them, what are the times when you're expecting a lot of people to be here, and what are the times when nobody should be around, or what are the areas you're most concerned with, and we'll actually do an initial set of programming specifically for that site, so that all those needs are met. Because some places there should be nobody there at night, and other places people work late. So it really varies a lot site to site. And so we create that layer of
much. I'm going to invite you to connect with him afterwards. That was fantastic.
Thank you very much. So the best thing to do is just send us a note, and I'll send you all the terms of that related program.
All right, we got someone else up next, sir. Here we go.
All right, hi everyone. I am George, and I am the founder of Albatross AI. And Albatross AI is an AI assistant for real estate inbound leads. The key problem we're trying to solve is many businesses in real estate depend upon inbound leads to find their new customers. At the same time, there's a timeliness factor where once that customer reaches out, if you do not respond to that customer's questions in a timely manner, they will simply move on to the next property. The key examples I like to use is, remember the last time you reached out to a plumber or you reached out to an apartment, you reached out to 5 other competitors. And more than likely, the person that you went with or the building that you went with was simply the one who answered your questions in a prompt manner. So we are building a bilingual AI assistant that can connect with your phone line and your email, respond to your inbound leads when they reach out with a few questions, and nurture that lead until somebody is ready to close them. As I mentioned, there's 3 parts. One is connects with your emails, identifies the leads as they email you. Same thing with your phone services. As people call, it triages the calls, identifies the lead, and then also same thing, answers their questions, nurtures that lead. And then everything is kept in a dashboard. So you or whoever is in the business can monitor how these AI assistants are interacting. Our product is, the key slogan for our product is accelerating that lead to customer conversion. Some of the key features behind that are instant notification. So it's the idea of as soon as a lead is identified, you and the business are notified immediately, so you know, okay, I just got 10 calls today, but in this case, this one particular was a lead. At the same time, it's immediate responding with availability. So when that person reaches out with a few questions, whatever it is, from like something simple as like, hey, I need you guys this Thursday. Can you guys help me? The AI assistant can immediately look into your schedule, look into the data, and respond with that person's questions at the moment that they reach out. Another one is lead source tracking. As I mentioned, we are an inbound lead focused system. The key reason being that most of these businesses depend upon marketing on multiple platforms. And one of the key issues you may have is you don't know where these inbound leads come from, so you don't know which marketing channels give you the best ROI. So part of the process of this is identifying where the leads are coming in so you can understand, okay, your dollars are best served on Google Ads or Zillow, Apartments.com, etc. Why now? The key focus is obviously everybody's heard of ChatGPT. What does that mean in terms of the accessibility, the affordability? Is pretty simple. So I'm a machine learning engineer by background. It used to be a tough thing before to build AI assistants because you needed to compile the data and it wasn't always readily available. Leveraging something like OpenAI drastically reduces the cost of building a machine learning application, which you can then pass down to businesses who could not afford before to expense a very expensive machine learning application. At the same time, anybody who's, for example, in multifamily knows this. Since 2020, we've had the largest number of apartments under construction in the past 40 years. So what does that mean, let's say, for an apartment complex? That means that you're going to see increased competition for potential renters. And so back to the point about these inbound leads are going to reach out to multiple people, you're going to have to be that more proactive about answering the questions in a prompt manner. Our team slide is me with a few friends and colleagues. It's very engineering heavy. As I mentioned, I'm a machine learning engineer by background, so obviously I focus on the machine learning engineering side. We have a few JavaScript developers. They focus on the dashboard side. And then I have a few friends of mine who are marketing experts, and they help me put this beautiful pitch that you see here. Our traction, so actually I pitched last year. It was just an idea at that point. So now since then we've officially launched. One obviously incorporated. We launched the MVP in June. We beta tested it with a realtor, an apartment locator, in a home services business. So think of a handyman plumber. And then starting next month, we're going to pilot this with a multifamily, multifamily property management company in New Jersey. Also, we just joined the Endler Accelerator program, and we'll be starting that end of this month. I'm going to skip over these. So, a competition. Well, competition mostly is still your traditional voicemail and email inbox, right? On top of that, there are a lot of things that you can see here, but the one...
So much. So that was amazing. Thank you. You're on time?
Okay.
But this was fantastic, but we are going to go to Q&A, so hopefully you can tap on that. Anybody have questions?
Yes.
Where are you at currently with fundraising? Or are you raise already? Are you going to do that? So I know you're about to go to the accelerator, but just where are you at?
Yeah, so we were bootstrapping up until then. We didn't do a family and friends round, and I guess once we started the accelerator, we'll be doing the pre-seed round.
Any questions?
Any other questions? I will have a question.
So is it a chat-based model or text to speech?
Yeah, so it's not a chatbot in the sense that it connects with your phone line and your email. So it's not like a chatbot that exists on a landing page. It's purposefully meant to connect directly with the landline or whatever phone line that you have for your business, and same thing with your email. And it's a free-form input, so you have a conversation with that.
Can you speak to the underlying model? You know, we got these new LLMs that keep developing fast-moving area. So what do you have in the hood? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, so it's a combination of AWS Alexa. We essentially just repurposed Alexa for the voice side. And then OpenAI's LLM, which is going to be ChatGPT. So really building on top of these microservices for everything else. Yes.
Will this integrate with Twilio and other CMS systems?
Twilio?
Twilio Sanctuary for
Yeah, so a similar version. So not Twilio or SendGrid. I forget what it's called. AWS. So AWS has a Twilio comparison tool, and then simply with SendGrid. I forget what it's called. AWS SES, essentially. Yes.
Perfect, that's fantastic. Thank you for giving us a minute of our feedback. Thank you. And thank you for teaching last year as well.
Yeah. Who's next?
I think there were 2 other people, right? Are you 6 or 7?
Were you 6?
I'm 5.
5? So 6, I'm 7.
Where's 6? Is 6 right here?
6 right here.
All right, 6.
6 right here. Okay, there we go.
All right.
Hi there. I'm the founder of Gelato Vodka. We're the only ones that are not doing PropTech, and we sampled our drinks earlier. I hope you got to try. But Gelato is the first flavored vodka, first vodka brand inspired by Tex-Mex culture, and we're launching in Texas, which is now the largest vodka producing region in the world, and it's also Mexican Americans are the #1 demographics group in the state. So we're the first vodka brand to represent the #1 culture in the largest vodka producing region in the world. And our product is also inspired by aguas frescas, which is the classic Mexican fruit waters that really represent the fruit flavors of Mexico. Our product is infused with real fruit and also sweetened with agave nectar. And so we're actually launching in Specs and Total Wine on May 1st. Specs and Total Wine are the #1 and 2 liquor store chains in Texas. Total Wine is actually, although the second biggest liquor store chain in Texas, it's the first largest liquor store chain in the United States with $5.5 billion in annual revenue. And we have really deep partnerships with both of those chains. We are in the Warehouse Direct program at Specs and the Spirits Direct program at Total Wine, which entails a really deep partnership on marketing and sales. We're right out of the gate, we have 65% gross margins. We've worked really hard on our supply chain and cost base. We've raised a seed round, which is 75% committed for $2 million total raise that we're essentially using to bring the product to market and put it in consumers' hands with our sales and marketing plan. And we have an incredibly profitable product and a great distribution plan. Great market reach. We're partnered with the biggest liquor distributor in the world, and so all we need is, this capital really to get the product into consumers' hands. Thank you.
We have questions.
Are you only taking institutional investments or from accredited investors as well? And just that question.
Yeah, so we're actually not really we haven't taken any institutional investors. We've only really fundraised from high net worth accredited investors. We're excited for anyone that's interested in this opportunity. And I can pass it on also to Cameron, who's our partner in the business, who's helping a lot with investor relations.
Great question. So,
what's the minimum?
Yeah, minimum investment is $65,000. Accredited investors only for U.S.-based investors. But if they're a foreign investor, we can kind of have some flexibility in that. I'm sorry?
Repeat the minimum.
Yeah, so it's $65,000 would be the minimum investment. That's for control of 1% of the company based on.
And you said 65, right?
65,000. Yeah, sorry. And so we're almost fully committed on this first friends and family seed round, and then we'll be looking to do a Series A raise after that, which will introduce probably another $5 million in capital to the project, and then we'll be looking to partner with some bigger players, some institutional investors as well. But if you want to flag us down, certainly we would love to connect with you in any way.
I think we're very close to launching this into the stratosphere. We're going to take this basically from an idea stage to an actual business, and we have quite a few different verticals that we're going to use to get some incoming revenue right off the bat. So great investment opportunity, and thank you so much for the PropTech team. Woo! All right, thank you guys very much.
Any closing remarks?
Yeah. Actually, I'd love to tell you a little bit more about my own background, actually. My family's been in the liquor industry in Latin America for 130 years. My uncle actually took over the family business and a couple of revenues built into the largest wine and spirits company in Peru. I did my MBA at Yale, where I came up with this idea and started the project, graduated, co-founded it with my uncle. And so, we have a lot of experience in the business. It's competitive advantage. Our family, we do 2 million cases a year in Peru, and so we have huge cost advantages in terms of glass and other things right at the gate. So flavor houses, we're the biggest flavor house in the world on this project. So thank you.
Alrighty, hey everyone, my name is Anil Patney and I'm the founder and CEO of Tiny Hacker House. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to PropTech for letting me speak pitch here. So a little background about me. I'm an entrepreneur. I spent 2 decades in community event production. And in 2010, I started an incubator to launch startups because I felt like innovation was a space that hadn't really supported by institutions, and it was really a necessary space that we needed to create, and there was no models around it. So we started this exploration of posting 300 events in the last decade, and
do you want the audio on?
We can turn it off.
I want people to hear what you're doing because you're building something that's really amazing. I know Neil, he's phenomenal, he's fantastic, he's got this tiny house community that he's building, and I want to make sure we can hear you. Okay, let's give that another go.
Thank you. So for the last 2 decades, we've been producing events, getting communities together, and building these innovative startups to address a number of underlying causes and challenges. One of the things I want to address is that a lot of nonprofits exist here, and they depend on donations to do social impact work. We want to introduce a social enterprise model where we're profit-driven, that all of our efforts generate revenue that can sustain and support ourselves, where we don't need to depend on donations. And so the model here of what we're doing is we've been experimenting with alternate types of construction methodologies using 3D modeling, 3D printing, and advanced manufacturing to explore what type of structures and developments we can do independently without having to hire another company to do our construction. So when we think about home in the future, we want to be able to build it ourselves, and we want to be the space where we're leading the charge in helping people develop the skills to build it themselves. And this is some of our projects. We've built geodesic dome structures, we've built some tiny house structures. We have 12 models of different tiny houses that are modular, and you can connect them together, you can scale them, or you can make them smaller, and it just depends on your budget and the time and your needs. And so we know that every family and person has different needs depending on how many people there are in the households, but this is a model that can solve affordable housing, it can solve gentrification, it can solve access to healthy food, and this incubator will be addressing all those challenges in our incubator space here in Austin, Texas. And I have a 1/4 acre land that we're going to be developing in the next year. and taking these projects and putting it on there and inviting everybody to come and see what you can build on your own if you have the skills to use the machinery and equipment that's accessible to everyone today, and innovate, push the boundaries on what you feel like a home should be, and a place where ideas can thrive, and we can see successes of more startups, more innovation, and more social impact challenges being addressed from a grassroots, community-centered innovation approach. So I'm really excited about this. My campaign is called Tiny Hacker House. You can see a lot more about it there. A little background about me, since I have a couple of minutes left. I was working in community events for many years. I have a background in business information systems. I grew up in England. I spent 10 years on the West Coast and 10 years in Austin. And one of the most, has anyone been to a hackathon before? Awesome. Has anyone been to a maker fair before? Okay, so add that to your list. And the third movement is the tiny house movement. So we've done 2 tiny house shows here in Austin, Texas, where we exhibited 27 custom tiny house builds, where you could walk through and see like ones that people made themselves, existing companies that made tiny houses, and people that converted vans and into like living spaces. And the stories they share about where they lived, the journey they went on, how much more freedom they had, how much less work they had to do, and how that lifestyle changed and how they're able to support it. It's super fascinating, and we're going to produce more of those shows in the future, so I'd love to invite you to come and see it and experience it yourself and understand like all of the opportunities that are going to come along that with having more work-life balance and better mental health, and not just giving your life away to some company that you're working 60 hours a week for, right? So this is an alternative model. It's a nomadic community. So previously I worked for South by Southwest. Prior to that I worked for Hackaday. I ran a $300,000 cash prize challenge in 70 countries around the world around hardware innovation. And all of those projects I want to tie into this community and everything we're building, so that you see a completely unique space here in Austin, and hopefully a great place for the rest of the world to reflect on and connect with the ecosystem that I built of specialists and networks and resources of experienced professionals. So learn more at tinyhackerhouse.com. Our business model is simple from the get-go. It's just an Airbnb. So if you have an idea and a project that you want to work on, you can have us rent a space in our community, and we'll help bring all of the resources you need to accelerate and scale your idea. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks. Yes, that is the whole reason I moved to Austin. And if everybody here, if you have seen the Community First Village, it's one of the most fascinating spaces to see in Austin. It is the most successful master plan community. I searched all over the US for it, and they have a very integrated model where it's not just a community. They have a 1-acre farm, they have like different workshops you can do. My friend teaches glass blowing, and there's all kinds of activities you can do there. They have a medical center there, they have an outdoor amphitheater. Amazing, amazing place. Thank you for bringing that up, that's awesome. But that is a real vision for this space that we envision in the future. Yes?
For your tiny house community project, what is the most important things you're looking for people to help?
Yes, the most important thing is, sorry, go ahead. So the question was, what is the most important thing that we need for our tiny house community, right?
Yes, for other people to help you.
Oh, for other people to help me. Okay, so the main thing that we need is funding, right? So we want this campaign to raise funds and then convert those funds into construction dollars and time in the space. So everybody that donates money to the campaign will get time in the space, and they can come there with their idea, come connect with other startups.
Dollar amount, what I'm looking for.
Dollar amount, $1 million. Yes. Any more questions? Awesome. Well, thank you so much to PropTech. We love you, and we want to see more. And come see tinyhackerhouse.com. Thank you so much.
That was
Next,
fantastic.
what's
Thank you
number?
so much.
I think there's one more gentleman.
7, we have 8.
What is number?
Ready? All right.
Sorry you had to steal that during video. No.
You don't want to select?
No, no.
Stand the right here.
Goes the right slide.
Do you have slides?
I don't have slides.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh,
It's not-
oh,
Yeah, yeah.
James, he has no slide.
No slide.
No slides.
That's cool. Hey, how's it going? My name's Juan Cano. I'm CEO and founder of Housing Base. At Housing, hey, I'm Riddle. How you doing? I met you last night. Woo! At Housing Base, we're revolutionizing affordable housing through better government data. And we're really using that data to create a platform that is commercialized across PropTech, FinTech, and government technology. Our clients are municipal clients, so we work with local, state, and federal government agencies to perfect and clean their data repositories. The problem with government data is that it's vast. All of our biggest investments as community members, our tax dollars, are spent on social services, on affordable housing development, and public housing or social housing depending on where you live. Those programs are heavily funded through tax dollars. The problem with the data at the government level is that after the programs are invested in, there's not much done with that data. So that government data is outdated, it's siloed, it's not shared across departments. And so as we know, if you have good data, you can make good policy decisions, you can make good programmatic decisions and good investments. If you don't have good data, it leads to some of the problems that we're having today as it relates to affordable housing, homelessness, and other issues within our communities. We work with governments to take that data, take it out of their siloed departments, create a centralized source of truth for that data, and then we use that data to leverage different tools. The first tool is Housing Base. Housing Base really provides services to 3 different user types. One is the social impact. Our platform is now leveraging the most up-to-date affordable housing inventory data available for the municipalities that we work in and anywhere in the United States. That data is leveraged to create a marketplace that allows low-income families to seek housing online in a much more respectable manner on more than just price and location. So they're able to search based on very specific filters for their family situation. And that's the social impact of the platform. On the municipal side, we're able to create a lot of efficiencies for government clients, and that's why we charge them for the service. They're able to now have a tool that they can give to their constituents as a self-help tool to allow them to search for housing on their own. Right now, searching for a low-income apartment is like searching for a roommate in college. You're on Craigslist, you're on Facebook Marketplace, and you're usually facing a lot of usury types of landlord situations where you're paying much more or you're living in a place where you shouldn't be living, right? Substandard situations. By allowing them to have an online platform that allows them to search for housing online, we're able to put people in the right communities and they stay longer term. This has a huge benefit for the private sector. This reduces time to occupancy for property owners and asset managers. We know that there's a housing shortage. We know that there's a housing crisis. But we do have a lot of inventory that's just sitting there. It's super hard filling a unit for a low-income resident. They have to not make too much income, too little income. They have to fit just perfectly this Goldilocks tenant, even for a low-income unit. If we can bring those tenants to the property owners by leveraging this online platform, we're able to reduce time to tenancy, reduce vacancy and loss collection, and increase asset values. And so our property owner clients are actually finding a lot of value in this platform, and it's not a part of the platform that we get monetized. On the public sector perspective, it's really great because it allows them to better serve their constituents and give them an actual tool that they can use. They have better insights and better data to make better informed decisions. So no more lobbyist A is pushing for a project on Airport Boulevard far away from downtown and far away from opportunity. You now have data to inform that investment should be made based on what that immediate population in that municipality actually has. And it's a great political flag. We've got politicians now being able to give a tangible product to their residents, right? Their voter base. And so this is the most important decision that most families have in the United States is where I choose to live. And so by having a platform that allows them to search for housing in a dignified way, our government clients are finding a lot of value there. We've launched our MVP was what became our production model. We've now launched pilots in 5 cities. We're live in San Antonio, Texas. Our contracts are multi-year, multi-six-figure contracts just for the data collection and the online SaaS access to both this marketplace for residents and also the ability to gain insights on that data. We've been fully bootstrapped today, as I said, which was a blessing and a curse. We've been using the revenue from our data collection to be able to build the product, which has allowed us to really focus on a great product because we get to really get in there with our clients every single day and really figure out, is this the right solution for your community? We've now got this great product that has clients renewing these 6-figure contracts. But the bad part of being bootstrapped is we really need to scale fast before the incumbents find out what we're working on. And so we're here looking for 2 things. One, investors that are interested in participating in this platform, anyone that really understands the power of this data and the implications it can have in financial services, insurance services, and other product types. And also anyone that lives in a community that's suffering from affordable housing shortages or suffering from any other issue, we would love to meet with your municipal decision makers, any property owners that you think might find value in this platform, or anybody else that we could evangelize to. So I really appreciate taking the time and we're working on HousingBase. HousingBase.io is our platform. You can look at the version in San Antonio, it's housingbasesanantonio.com. Like I said, it's sponsored by the city of San Antonio, and that's how we work within the different municipalities we're working in and the pilots as well. And there's tons of monetization that we haven't taken advantage of, right? Is there private sector revenue that could be generated? Are there other uses for that data?
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, any questions?
So I own a bunch of those houses you're talking about in the Midwest. They're 60% occupied, call them guns and dogs neighborhood, not great. Scary to live in, some of them. It's hard to find tenants to be in them that qualify, like you say. The HUD does a pretty good job of it. Your platform, I don't know it specifically, but that platform exists in Peoria, Illinois, where my units are. Have you thought about partnering with, and I've worked for Zillow in the past, have you thought about partnering with a really big platform like that so that like it was a tick box that I'm only looking for low-income housing in these areas would help you scale outside of San Antonio across the country really fast to a huge network of people, because I need those renters in my building to qualify, because I don't get paid by HUD. There's nobody in there. So you do provide a great service, but how do you get that scale out further so that more people are not on the internet searching for like, how do I find a low-income house in Peoria?
You know, we met with Amazon and Zillow in Seattle early last summer. Very similar issues. They've done a couple of pilots. It's very limited and very local. Exactly what you said. There's inventory out there that's just not being filled. We were finding not just slumlord properties or properties in really dangerous neighborhoods. We were finding stuff right in the middle of Seattle, right in the middle of Redmond, right across from Microsoft and Amazon, that had gotten a certificate of occupancy. When the building is done being built, you get a certificate of occupancy and you can lease it. They'd gotten that thing 6 months ago and they're still at 50% occupancy. Well, if there's a housing shortage, that thing should be filled right away. Well, they can't find the tenants. And so that's kind of like where the light bulb went off, like, oh wow, like this isn't just a public sector solution for data, this is also a solution that can help the private sector fill those units. So absolutely on the roadmap is how can we leverage this to better serve you and the larger institutional multifamily owners. And yeah, strategic partnerships are great.
So how you work is not just listing properties that have in the market, you kind of create a profile for the users and you a matchmaker.
Yeah, so the platform has 4 user personas. One is you can search the platform as a resident like you would on Zillow. No need for a resident to create an account or anything of that sort. This is affordable rental housing today across any property type, whether it's multifamily, townhome, ADU, whatever it may be. It's listed on the site. The second user type is a property owner or property manager that can use the platform to better manage or better market their properties to the public. to residents. Then there's a back-end dashboard for the public sector. So in there they get analytics on who's been using the site, what's being searched for, what are the hot zones in the area, what are the employment hubs within the community where we should start making more investment based on TV or based on just trends. So think about like daily, monthly, real-time census data to these municipal decision makers is being delivered to them real time. Yeah, so it's really, really neat for that. And then we have a platform for social workers. So you can create case files on that platform in order to search on behalf of your low-income clients. So whether you're a housing agency or you're a faith-based organization, as long as the city approves you as a do-gooder or not, somebody trying to weaponize the site, you're able to create and search for housing on behalf of your clients, which has been really, really useful. We were not expecting anybody to use the site, period, because why would you need to create an account, especially an account that's sponsored by the government? We felt in Texas, nobody's going to trust the site sponsored by government. We've got over 4,500 registered users actively using the site. We've had tens of thousands of contacts made between property owners and property managers. Good, bad, and indifferent. We've connected people, they've found housing, they've at least toured, they've at least found out what's available in the community versus just walking door to door just trying to find a place to live. They now know that, oh wow, I actually work 3 bus stops away and I didn't have to take 3 buses to get to work. There's a place a half a mile away. So, yeah, thank you.
So much, we appreciate that. You have a lot of interest in home base. Homebase.io. Thank you. Okay, do we have round of applause?
Yes, Ben, who's Ben? Ben. Okay. You come. Yes, in Ben.
Bijou, yes. One word pitch. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us on the PropTech guys. Getting the slides up. Great. While he's doing that, show your hands if you live in Austin. Okay, so y'all just keep down the street. How long have you been in Austin? Who is actually indigenous to these lands of Austin?
We're gonna have a flex though. I've been here since 2013.
Wait, were you born in Austin? Oh, okay, you're not indigenous. Who was born in Austin? Who was born? Nobody? Okay. Alright. You were? It's hard to find them. Oh, okay. It's always hard to find people that were born and raised in Austin, so I was just curious in the room if we had one. But okay, alright, we're ready to get started.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bijou Menon, and I'm here to talk about my new startup called we call Do2. I was CEO of Fair Hire for 6 months, developed a business in the UK and then here in the US. Went for traveling for like 13 months, came back, and now in the process of putting through a new venture called Do2. My vision is to empower communities to bring back the communal life. Do you know 1 in 4 people are lonely? And this is not me saying, this is after the research done by Facebook and Gallup in 140 countries. And if you think about it, we are in the world where people tend to use Netflix than going to the cinema, and Uber Eats than going to a restaurant. So we are in the luxury of couch, which means people are not engaging with others, and that is now a global pandemic for loneliness. So we want to tackle loneliness by empowering what I call micro-community. So we have embarked on that vision to create higher engagement within micro-communities. And you may ask, what is a micro-community? So any community within a building. A building is a base unit where people are present due to their day-to-day activities or maybe for leisure. So our goal is to build a micro-community builder to create that higher engagement. So this is what I always say. In 5 years, whenever you enter a building, it could be a residential apartment, it could be a resort in Mexico, or it could be a gym or a library, you would want to open this app to connect with the micro community there. And so that we can collaborate and engage and do things together. Especially in urban areas, this is extremely important that people, for the fear of over-intelligence, they don't tend to connect with others. So what we've done is we created an app which is geo property. So if you're not in the property, you're not in the micro community. But if you're not coming back to that place within 2 weeks, you're automatically kicked out of the community, which will attract businesses to get these people coming back, to increase the footfall. And for people, it's the best way to engage with the community they wanted to for different purposes based on their life patterns. And so we built this micro community builder for 2 groups of people. One, the members within the community, and also the guests that comes to the community. It's not part of the member, but we should be part of that particular community. And also the host. So we have the host to measure and manage vibrancy, which is something very subjective at this point of time. If you think about WeWork, community managers are being hired at a higher rate. They are quantified by the number of events they do. WeWork doesn't have a measuring tool to see how vibrant WeWork Manhattan is compared to WeWork Brooklyn. So that is something that we are going to solve with this micro community builder. We look at the market validation. Currently, hospitality industries are using WhatsApp. Workplaces are using Slacks and other community buildings like gyms and all uses community notice boards. So now we want to make sure we have a global app that can create a Pavlovian thinking where whenever you enter a building, you want to log on to the app to connect with the people within. We have go-to-market strategy. We're going to focus on hospitality and workplace to begin with, but we want to work our way towards a total accessible market of 32 billion. And we are ambitious that in 5 to 6 years, we want to capture 5% of this market share, which will put us in a 1 billion mark, where we want to consider ourselves as a unicorn. So we do have a first mover advantage because there is no app as such at this point of time, but what we believe will be very competitive in terms of what we bring is our recommendation engine, which is built on a new frontier of AI called causal AI. We are in the world where we're talking about predictive AI. What is predictive AI? It tells you the impact. It tells you what could potentially happen based on what has happened before. Causal AI answers the why question in layman's language. The why question is very close to human intelligence, and that's why this hasn't been commercialized yet. Microsoft is the only company very close to commercializing causal AI. My co-founder is one of the few people in the world who has done PhD in causal AI 15 years ago, 9 patents, 10 research papers. So he's having a team who's building a huge component, and we want to pioneer that area.
Thank you so much.
Why this is important?
We have met our time. It has been a pleasure to have you. So we're going to open it up for Q&A.
Okay, perfect.
Does anybody have any questions?
You probably answer this all the time. What's the difference between this and Foursquare? Foursquare from 10 years ago.
Sorry.
What's the difference between this and Foursquare from like 10 or 15 years ago?
Yeah, geofencing. We want to preserve the sanctity of the micro community, and that's when people can express themselves. So you got to be in that place to be a geofenced our application to make sure whoever who is in the building can be part of the micro community.
Foursquare doesn't allow geofencing?
Yes, they do. The intent of what we do is the key, right? The intent is we want to create a higher engagement, which Foursquare fails, and we also deliver value to the businesses who uses our application for reasons that we can quantify vibrancy. So at this point of time, Foursquare hasn't done that, and one of the reasons why they're not,
I thought when you drove by or went to a business that's on Foursquare, they're like, hey, you want to check in? Again, it's like 15 years ago, so it's
yeah, but today, no one has used Foursquare to see what's going on.
I don't even know if the business still exists, to be honest.
I was curious about like where you are in the fundraising, like still, because I invested in a company like a year and a half ago that's doing a similar thing. Not exactly what you're doing, It's called Spark, and it looks like that there actually may even be a partnership between the two of you. I'm just curious in general. For sure. So, where are you at in the fundraising?
Yeah, we are raising 3 million at this point of time. We just started the campaign 2 weeks back, talking with investors. We're offering safe loans for the investment, and that's purely to create that R&D team that we already built. We want to have bring more people in play for the research to continue, and also now the product is being launched next month, and we want to empower that marketing campaign using the funds that we raised.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'll get your info.
Okay. Well, love that. Thank you.
Oh, you're the last one?
We got one more minute. So I don't think we have. We got one more minute. You got one more question.
Anybody else? Have you pitched?
Yes, thank you. I'll go again.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, so that's all the pitch. We're going to do an open mic. Right after this, and everybody are welcome to introduce yourself. Before we do that, we're going to welcome one of the co-person who produced this PropTech event. Let's welcome Jeremy. Come on.
Thank you. Just going to plug in the mic.
So we do open mic means after Jeremy, so everybody, whoever would like to announce, it has to be PropTech related, or construction project related. Come up for 19 seconds to 2 minutes. Introduction for yourself and your company, something like that. Okay. And this lady will be the first one.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody again for being here at the PropTech House 2024. My name is Jeremy Sigmund and I'm with PowerStack. And I need to stand back. Stand back. How's this for framing? Pretty good? Okay. So again, thank you for being here. The pitch event is really one of the most exciting parts of the afternoon because we get to hear from so many new and exciting and interesting technologies. I happen to have spent a lot of my 24-year career or so now in property technology in different ways. I started clambering around rooftops with solar. Actually, a lot of those roofs were skyscrapers in New York City. Initially, I got really excited about how we can do more with buildings than just add solar to them, and so I started working at the Green Building Council on public policy and thinking about how can we shape our buildings and cities through policy. And then I realized after 10 years or so that I wanted to get back to doing something, tactile, and I got into manufacturing related to smart and efficient housing, and now with the technology called PowerStack. And so PowerStack, actually, one of the founders is here somewhere, not in the room, but out in the back, I believe. The technology was founded on the concept that we, in the center of this smart cities and smart buildings movement, recognize that there's a lot of technology that's needed to be able to get us from where we've been to where we want to be, right? So there's software that we've heard a lot about today, and there's hardware solutions, and those hardware solutions tend to be they need to be almost universally deployed to really make them work, right? Especially with 5G technology, we need something like 5G every 200 feet or so to make the self-driving cars of the future work, to make our networks actually function. So we need power almost everywhere to power a lot of these devices that increasingly are more and more efficient. And so how do we do that without ripping up everything and running conduit? Lots of long wire runs with copper, which is a very expensive material. There's a concept that basically if you move off the grid, you might be able to do this smarter and better. And so enter PowerStack, recognizing that powering smart technologies is often really not that smart. And so we figured in a situation like this one, if you could avoid the trench, and you could avoid the conduit run, and you could avoid the permit with the city and the interconnection with the utility, you can save a heck of a lot of time and money. Seems like a pretty good case for solar. But of course, if you go with individual solar on top of a pole, you've seen a lot of them. They've been around for 30, 40 years, if not longer. They don't look very good. They often get voted out, in community meetings saying, I don't want that in my street or my community. they're actually not quite very resilient. If you look around Central Texas right now, you'll see rooftops as well as these mobile devices with these panels like this, and they're covered with hail damage. Right, they're glass modules, and especially in an area like this one that gets pretty heavily damaged by hail. You end up, if you're putting it on a pole, you put it up way high like this, and it acts like a wind sail, adding to foundation requirements. You have a bigger foundation with more concrete and more carbon, more time and more expense, as well as if you're using it for monitoring and camera technology, you have your camera that actually can't focus because it's billowing around the breeze. So there's quite a few problems here. A lot of them you'll find are attached to a lamp because you can have a solar light. You can find them at Home Depot, plug them in your yard. They don't often work. Why is that? Because there needs to be a smart and intelligent way of installing it in the direction where the sun will be. So you have to think about solar orientation, you have to think about durability, you have to think about implementability, and that's where we recognize that we could do a lot better with a solar pole that has taken a lot of that into consideration. So what we're doing is we're integrating solar into the vertical surfaces of the pole, which helps because if you're moving off the grid, you're not trying to maximize the watts that you can generate in the summer. You're trying to make sure that by the time you get to wintertime, when you're entirely off the grid, can you manage for those several days of winter and still be off the grid and operating? Right, so that the sun is lower in the sky, you need a lower profile, and if you get sun in the morning and not in the afternoon, and vertical profile, you can get that. So there's a few reasons why we're doing that. We're also avoiding the hail problem because we're vertical, but also we're not made of glass, and you can beat the heck out of it. In fact, we beat it up with a baseball bat, a skateboard, stuck a lighter to it for a minute and a half, shot it with an AR-15, because we are in SXSW. And the power stack system continues to function. Now, of course, you can always hit an artery, and I wouldn't recommend throwing a hammer at your windshield because it's shatterproof. And so this system ends up being a heck of a lot more resilient in urban infrastructure, in industrial infrastructure, in lots of different places. And so we have a product that is quickly deployed that actually adds a lot of safety layers. One of the ways that we can add safety, jump ahead, is we can actually winch our pole into position off the hinge, which means that there's no more working off the bucket truck. You can forget the bucket truck entirely. You can pull the pole down very easily. Actually, this morning there was a pole just across the street, 1 hour. This was pulled down because the city of Austin had to check in on their internet connectivity. So they hinged it down like this. They used a battery-powered drill to hinge it down and back up very safely, very easily. No bucket truck required, no ladder, no working at heights, which tends to require higher wages. We also have a concrete-free foundation. So for those that are thinking about, well, how are we actually lowering our carbon footprint on a technology like this one? Well, there's an opportunity to do so because we're eliminating concrete, and yes, this is steel, but the amount of steel and the weight of steel and the carbon footprint is a heck of a lot lower in basically a tree root system like a diamond pile underground. And that system itself, which is not required, it's just if you want to use it, installs in about 20 minutes. And the pole coming more or less fully complete to you as the customer installs in under an hour. And so instead of waiting for the utility, and waiting for concrete to cure, and waiting for the permit, and having like 18 different parts and trying to figure out which drill bit you need to use on site, a more or less fully integrated system arrives ready to use and installs in minutes. And so our product range, you can sort of see we have a 10-foot version outside as a bit of a mock-up. You can charge your phone on it today. It's typically an indoor application. That one is just more of a demonstration. But we do have those types of chargers installed in the field. So we'll have anywhere between sort of a 3-foot high waist height all the way up to almost 30 feet. And what we do is when we add surface area, we add solar collection surface. And with that, we add the ability to recharge batteries. So if we change our solar zone, we go way up to Canada, we need more surface area to collect more sun to charge the same number of batteries to run the same payload. So it's a little bit of how we size and calculate. Obviously, we get a better bang for the buck down here in Texas. We're working in Europe. We have a manufacturing facility in Australia as well. We're moving into the Middle East, into Southeast Asia as well. ESG side, I think I already mentioned. I mean, we're already on solar, we're already using high efficiency, but the only way you can really maximize a system like this one is if you think about the watts, not the kilowatts and the megawatts, but the watts. So it's inherently energy efficient. We're thinking about footprint and carbon footprint all at the same time. And so we're working with sales and marketing partners, if you will, all across the United States and the globe. But here's our little map of territorial coverage of who we're working with right now. We've got projects installed in many, but probably not all of these locations. And what we're really looking for at this stage is not necessarily investment, but we're looking for partners who want to collaborate with us because you have a technology that you need to implement and you don't have power access, or because you see an opportunity to plump some on some land that otherwise doesn't have power. You have a technology that maybe enables somebody to do something, but you need a quick way to deploy it. So we have a few different types of partners like that, and that's really what we're looking for. We'll actually be exhibiting in Florida over the weekend at a giant show in Orlando. In 2 weeks we'll be in Las Vegas at the world's largest security show. Most people are using our technology for either security, light, or smart city applications. And I would encourage you to find a project and see if we can code it up for you. That's where we are in our venture. Thanks very much.
You've probably already done this, but ACL would be an amazing opportunity for you. Power bank phone during the middle of an 8-hour concert.
If you have a line in to the ACL people,
or any music conference that's outdoors that you need to not limit the sight to the stage, like with it. You can do a good presentation.
Yeah, thank you. You know, the question was about are we connected into different types of concert venues, and the answer is not really, but we want to be. So if you have those connections, thank you. Anything else? Yes.
How much power do you generate and how do you store it?
Yeah, just quick orientation on the product. So we store the power on the inside of the pole. Right? So there's batteries on the inside of that column. Solar charges it from the outside. So nothing is running sort of directly off the sun. If the sun is shining, that's great, because we're charging the batteries. But it's not like the sun is shining so the light is on, because actually the light is usually on when the sun is not shining. Right? So the power is stored internally. Everything runs off the battery. It's just we need solar to recharge it. How much power can we offer? It sounds small if you think about the 60-watt light bulb that we all grew up with, but we can offer anywhere sort of from a 5-watt version, 24/7, or a 75-watt version, which is a much taller bulb. It sounds like a small amount, but if you're looking for a camera, it's about 13 watts. If you're looking for a modem, it's about 5 to 15 watts. If you're looking for a light, it's anywhere from 8 watts to 800 watts, but on a very short time cycle. So that's a quick answer.
Yeah, we can do it all. Okay, thank you so much. Our last session presentation is about open mic. So whoever wants to announce yourself, a company looking for jobs, looking for co-founders, come here and land up. Each of you have 90 seconds. Okay, would automatically just land up here first. Let's welcome our first editor. Announce your name.
My name is Kate Ritter. I am founder and CEO of Homecoming. We are a virtual staging company, so we realize that the majority of virtual staging on the market is handled by real estate photographers. I decided to start connecting with interior designers who knew the nuance and the flow of the market, what would cater to the buyer, and what might be interesting to them, and the nuances which were like downtown Austin. We're nationwide, we've done over 8,000 homes to date, and then ultimately created a tech product. It's patent pending, so that you can take one 2D image, put it into our software, and it creates a 3D environment. That has always been a manual process by people using AutoCAD and different kind of platforms. Ours is auto-generated within seconds. Basically, that came out of listing agents and buying agents, as well as buyers coming back to us and requesting, where is that sofa from? Because it looks really great in our platform, or it looks really great in our living room. We we wanted to answer that question. And so we've created a very intuitive platform to be able to connect those dots so that basically now we offer both services as well as the ability for people to do it themselves. Anybody else? Yeah.
So 2-minute elevator, this is like 2-minute elevator to the top of the Burj, I think, right? So it's our trip up to the Burj together. This is me. I'm Zach Rasinger. My company is CRE Pro Course. I'm a real estate broker, commercial real estate broker, and I've done deals with many of you guys here. So I do about $50 million a year in brokerage, mostly industrial warehouse. I'm not here seeking any funding. What I'm here to seek is a partner that has an LLM background for AI. So just as George's solution for homes, my clients aren't looking for a home in the next 30 days. Mine are institutional buyers that buy $100 million worth of warehouses. They have a specific type of thing, but they're all asking for, and we talked about this earlier, a good deal. A good deal changes every day. They have a need for more capital, less capital, cap rate is higher, lower, so there is an ever-changing need. If you or anybody you know can help me develop an AI bot or model to constantly be getting feedback from anybody that is looking for commercial real estate, reach out to me. I'm Zach Rasinger. I'm on TV. You may have seen me. I've got a show on Apple TV, and I'm all over LinkedIn. So reach out to me. I'm Zach Rasinger. Thank you very much. Big props to PropTech House, huh? Woo! All right, thank you very much.
Hi guys, I was actually just Googling on sort of construction networking events, and I wound up on this, and I'm so grateful. Some of these startups, like just seeing these people with all these energies and seeing them invest, it is pretty beautiful. We're not technically a startup. We were founded in 2012, and we have like 120,000 contracted users using our database. I work for LCP Tracker. We help manage certified payroll reports for general contractors, subcontractors, any agency, housing authority, or anything like that. We help manage, track their proper prevailing wage. The power stack individual, the solar, if he's getting any sort of IRA funding or anything like that, he needs certain requirements for that, so we help track, manage, and report that back onto the organization.
Nice, thank you.
Hey, good afternoon. Great event, and I am Patrick McGinnis, and I'm here to tell you that AI changes everything. I build AI, I write about AI, and I do have a Substack called AI Changes Everything. Check it out. Keeps you updated on AI. I'm here to let you know if you do want help on AI, machine learning, etc. I have a lifelong experience in it. PhD in computer science, 30 years experience with software, machine learning, AI, etc. So I can help you. I'm also starting a community called AI Builders on Discord, and where we're trying to connect builders with projects. So if you got a project that I need, whatever, connect with me. I'm a connector. So if you need help, whoever. Again, AI changes everything. We are in the start of a revolution, so if you want to stay up on it, I do have a Substack called AI Changes Everything. Check me out, Patrick McGinnis.
My name is Amy Calder. I am a founder and CEO of Facilimax. I've been in commercial real estate for over 21 years. I was a general contractor turned developer, private equity firm owner, and then I started my PropTech company about 3 years ago because there was nobody solving the problem that existed in commercial real estate, which was nobody uses the building data that is available to them to manage their operation or even optimize their operations. So we created this, we're a data aggregator, and we can build out a digital twin of any commercial building, and we combine that physical building data with energy consumption and water consumption and gas consumption and work orders from the PM system and IoT devices and the supplier data. So now an owner can get all this data and look and go, oh, that's what the hell is going on. Because right now they can't. We use AI to interact with our data, and probably need to talk to you. And that's kind of the program that we have. And the other thing is I also founded the U.S. PropTech Council. Because when I was a PropTech founder, I was looking for a group, and I couldn't find one. And so I created one, and 3 weeks ago we really launched. I mean, honestly, I started it 3 years ago, and then I got busy in development. You know, you put your head down and you're trying to get your MVP, and then you get through beta, and then you're like launching, and you're doing all these great things. So when you finally kind of come up for air, after 3 years later, there was still no group, and I'm like, this is like the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. So I revived my group. I started reaching out to people on LinkedIn, and in 3 weeks I have 300 members. The chairman of JLL is in my group. I have REITs in my group. So it's customers and investors and founders. I have about 80 founders that are in my group now. And we have events once a month, and it's really just to further the industry. And it's so expensive, it's free. Just fun, okay? Just fun. So yeah, U.S. PropTech Council, and my company is called Facilimax.
Alright, hey everyone, my name is Shai, I'm the founder of Armadillo. Alright, hey everyone, my name is Shai, I'm the founder of Armadillo. I'm here to talk to you about the American dream. You work hard, you save some money, then you buy a house. But the question is, how can the American dream go through the American nightmare, which is a mortgage? So on Armadillo, we try to solve that. Armadillo connects first-time buyers with lenders, local lenders, and we do it by we have two main things, two main differentiators. One is the educational part. First-time buyers typically don't know anything about mortgage. So on Armadillo, we try to first educate them, bring them to a point that they, on top of the lingo, understand what their options are, what the process is going to look like, what are the different players in the whole process, so they know that they can have an intelligent conversation with lenders. And then the second and the coolest part is, nowadays when you want to get a mortgage, usually you go to a real estate agent, they refer you to a lender, and then you get a quote. But it's very smart and very good to get more quotes so you can compare it to it, because the rates are not amazing. If you want to do that nowadays, for every quote you want to get, you need to go to a different lender and to start pretty much the whole process from scratch, meaning to fill out the form on their website, and then to communicate with every lender, to provide the documents, to send what you need from you, and all that just for one quote. And for every quote you need to do it again and again. On Armadillo, we solve that by just providing one platform that you do everything there, to one-stop shop for mortgages. So as the first-time buyer, you sign up, you get educated so you know what you're talking about, and then you fill out the form just one time, you provide the documents just once, and then we have a matching algorithm that matches you with 3 different lenders, all local lenders, according to your needs, according to your criteria, and then you can choose whether to talk to 1 or 2 or all the lenders, and then since it's one place, it's very, very easy to get multiple quotes in the same time, in the same place in one time. That means the format is unified, all the fields are the same, so literally press one button to see nicely to table that compares all the quotes and to choose the right one and to negotiate much more easily with the lenders. Another cool thing is all the communication, everything happens on the platform, so you never need to go to Gmail to send an email. If you have a question, you can just text the lender on the platform. If you want to hop on a video call, you don't need to exchange any Zoom links, it's all one pressing button on the platform. You have another document you need to upload, it just happens there. And the last cool thing is, we never sell your information. Unlike pretty much 99% of the industry, but the business model is they get your information, sell it to many lenders, but not only you know about their existence, you never choose to work with them. We only sell your information to a lender once you, not even when you match with them, only once you chose to work with a specific lender, they get your information and get charged. We feel that buyers nowadays just appreciate these practices much better than just being sold to the world and get bombarded with phone calls and text messages. Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much our solution. I'm looking right now for first buyers for piloting the whole system. We already have 2 transactions, successful transactions, and say more than $14,000 for one of them over a lifetime mortgage. It's very cool. We have already 11 lenders, local lenders on the platform that are waiting. And yeah, anyone that want to invest in something that is going to change, mortgage, since that never had been changed since the beginning of the internet. Welcome to PropTech. That's it.
Hi, I'm Hannah Walker, and I'm the COO and co-founder of Sinclair Digital. We are an electrical solutions provider that uses low voltage DC methodologies that will reduce your building emissions about 30% operational month-to-month energy usage, and also about 80% on the embodied carbon in buildings. So we all know that everything is being electrified around us. Vehicles, we're getting rid of natural gas. So we need to drastically reduce our energy consumption in buildings. But how do we do that in a cost-effective way? So our solutions that we've been putting together use low voltage methodologies so that they're fast to install, they do not need conduit, and you use less skilled labor to install them. So you can use somebody, instead of having to be trained for 4 years, an electrical contractor, they can be trained for a couple months and do the work. So we're providing. So we've been around for about 4 years now, and we have about 5 successful buildings that are in operation today. So we can show the reduction, the savings on the CapEx side, the OpEx side. We're refining our solutions, finding our target markets where this makes sense in which building industries. And we're now looking for our next round of investment to take it to the next level, saturate the products into the market, and then help all buildings reduce their electrical loads.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's conclude our outpatient session for today. Again, let's give all our presenters and our speakers, hosts, Liberty, everybody give them a big, big round of applause. Liberty, they're finishing. Okay, and let's everybody give our host, Liberty, a big, big round of applause.
Thank you so much. Thank you for getting that video for me. But I want to welcome and thank everyone for coming to the PropTech House. And this has been a moment of reimagining. I'm not sure, am I in frame? 1 second, guys. You guys are extras in this content. I'm shooting my content right now. Am I in frame? I'm not sure where I'm saying.
Yes, you're in frame.
Am I good? Okay, perfect. So, again, thank you so much for coming to the PropTech House 2024 with a theme of real estate reimagined. And we've had an amazing and exciting day of conversations, talks, and panels. I've learned so much from both of the panels, and hopefully you'll learn how you can reimagine customer value, how you can reimagine transactions, how you can reimagine space. And one of the things that we wanted to focus on today was how do you utilize and leverage unutilized space? Because we feel like there's a lot of revenue that people leave on the table, and we really don't address it, and you can reimagine so many different spaces. One of the things that I find interesting is events at interesting locations. And this, I'm sure, from what I've heard today, has been the first time that a lot of you have been in a med spa. Right? I'm seeing some hands go up. How many people have been in a med spa before? Or rather, wait a minute, who's first time in a med spa? Look at all these hands. Okay, perfect. So just to kind of give you an idea of what a med spa is, I'm sure you're familiar with a spa in general, but a med spa is where you get all the medical procedures that you need to look fantastic, if you're real estate right now, look fantastic basically without surgery. In a way. So this is that level up from a spa where you can get all the tools you need and you can really put your best face forward, as they would say. So this is what we want to do, reimagine space, and for me, when I think about memorable events are surrounded by memorable spaces. And I have been to, one of my favorites is concerts at laundromats. That's true. I've been to many of those. And I always tell those stories rather than stories of me meeting someone at a bar. And I always tell the stories of events and concerts on ships. Or one of my favorite was midnight mingling at a car dealership that had nothing to do with Porsche. They could just use the location to have engaging events. And one of my favorites also was having an event at a dentist's office, luxury, beautiful, that had nothing to do with the dentistry. It was a film premiere. And when I think about that, I think of all the events that I attend, and I never really think of the ones that I attend at bars. I think of the ones that create an environment, and as we know, the built world has sentiment, and it creates a space. And hopefully you've enjoyed this space today. So thank you so much for coming out to Real Estate Reimagined, the PropTech House in La Vie, Med Spa on Ringing in Austin, Texas. Thank you so much.